This is the last episode of Black Summoner Season 1, and I recommend you to read light novels or manga. You can read light novels from chapter 90 or manga from chapter 30 because in episodes 11 and 12, not all battles are adapted from light novels. I've put the light novel and manga links in the description, so you just have to click and read them. That's all the information I explained. Let's move on to the storyline of the last episode of Black Summoner. But suddenly, Aphel and Kelvin were attacked by someone with mighty strength. It turned out to be Clive, one of the higher-ups from the Trison country. Clive says that Kelvin has hindered Trison's plans. A weak person like Kelvin doesn't deserve to protect this elf village. Then Clive was attracted to Aphel because she was very different from the other elves. Clive immediately uses the Eye of Woman's charm to hypnotize Aphel, but Kelvin thwarts Clive's skill. Kelvin is angry that Aphel wants to be taken by Clive, so he wants to fight and defeat Clive.
これだけは言っておく。俺の女に手を出すんじゃねえよ。転生者か。君、覗き趣味？It turns out that Clive is a person who has been reincarnated from the earth, just like Kelvin. Clive feels the greatest and becomes the main protagonist in this other world. Still, Kelvin doesn't care, and he immediately attacks Clive again. But unfortunately, the barrier around Clive couldn't be penetrated with just Kelvin's attack. Kelvin laughed and seemed to enjoy the battle for having found such a strong opponent. Clive didn't understand Kelvin's reaction, so he immediately ordered his followers to attack Kelvin. Kelvin could handle this, and he used his adamant guardian golem to fight Clive's followers. Now, only Kelvin and Clive will fight one-on-one. Clive wants to make Kelvin his follower because Kelvin's abilities are pretty great. Kelvin refuses and continues to attack Clive. Clive also brutally attacks Kelvin to the point of hitting his own followers. Kelvin was furious that Clive did not treat his followers well and was only used as a tool. Clive says that this other world has freedom without being bound by any rules, so he can have as many female followers as he wants. Clive can also use his immense power to have position in this world. Clive was sure Kelvin felt the same way because he was a battle junkie. Kelvin did not accept Clive's words. The great power possessed by this world is nothing to be proud of if it comes from someone as ugly as Clive. Kelvin felt that this was a very enjoyable battle. Kelvin told Clotho to take out Kelvin's own S-rank weapon. He also wanted to use his strongest skill so that Clive could be defeated. Clive was very proud of his S-rank strength and was impossible to beat by someone like Kelvin. Of course, Kelvin didn't care what Clive said. He wanted a battle where Kelvin could bring out all of his abilities in totality. Kelvin started reciting the magic spell of his S-rank skill and didn't want to destroy the forest that Aphel had ties to. After that, Kelvin immediately used his strongest magic to defeat the arrogant Clive with his own strength. Finally, Clive is defeated by Kelvin. Kelvin was about to kill Clive right there, but suddenly, Tristan came to take Clive back to Trison's country. Tristan confessed that the attack on the elf village was his plan, and for now, the Trison country would retreat first. Kelvin couldn't take it for granted. He wanted Tristan to now hand Clive over to Kelvin. But Tristan couldn't hand it over because Clive was still useful in Trison's country.
Then Kelvin said that the magic Tristan used to take Clive earlier was a summoner class technique. Tristan admits it, and he is also willing to lose today. Then Tristan says goodbye to Kelvin and leaves from there. After that, Kelvin reported this incident to his friends. Kelvin, Ryan, Melfina, and Sarah will soon head to the elf village since the battle is over. In the elf village, Ethel reported to Neras that the battle was over and the soldiers of the Tricen country had been wiped out. Upon hearing this, Neras was going to throw a big party to celebrate the success of Kelvin and his friends. Then Garrett joked about Ethel because Kelvin had said something romantic to her earlier. Ryan, Sarah, and Melfina raced to get to Garrett's place because they want to be praised by Kelvin first. But today was Ryan's lucky day because she had just unlocked the speed skill, and in the end, she was the one who got the praise first, then Melfina and Sarah. On the other hand, Tristan takes Clive to a room in Clive's residence and heals Clive's leg using a healing skill. Tristan has taken over Clive's followers and told them to attack Clive with 1342 cursed weapons. Once Clive's body is covered in wounds, his followers will heal Clive and attack him again. The pain of this weapon will continue to feel Clive until it makes him stressed. Tristan did this because a reincarnated person like Clive was the perfect object of experimentation. In the elf village, everyone was having fun because the Tricen soldiers were not attacking the village anymore. But Kelvin didn't join the party because he wanted to rest first. Then Ethel came to Kelvin and asked what Kelvin was thinking. Kelvin explains that he is very lucky to be able to return to life in another world. Kelvin has many memories in this world and friends who want to help him develop into a great adventurer. Kelvin is not alone, he has the great power to protect this world. But suddenly, Kelvin felt and heard something familiar to him. Then Kelvin asked about the box that Ethel had brought with her earlier. Ethel explained that this thing was given by Neras, it belonged to Rumil and was used as a hairpin. Ethel is grateful to come to this village because the people in Elf's village are very knowledgeable about Ethel's mother. So, Ethel thanked Kelvin for bringing her here, then Kelvin wore a hairpin on Ethel. Then Ethel expressed her feelings to Kelvin and said that she wanted to be with Kelvin forever. Ethel will work and fight harder to become someone Kelvin can rely on. Shortly after, Kelvin's other friends came there to accompany Kelvin. After that, there was one of the children from the elf village approached Kelvin as well. She was grateful that Kelvin and his party had protected the elf village. Then this kid said she was the gone king, Leonhart. King Leonhart was male and had deliberately disguised himself as one of the daughters of Neras, so that Tricen wouldn't know his whereabouts. Leonhart was impressed with Kelvin and his party for working together so well. Kelvin has passed the exam with perfect scores. King Leonhart said that the official S-rank Kelvin promotion ceremony would be held in 4 days in Potsy City. But Kelvin had to fight another S-rank adventurer alone. This battle simulation was held to celebrate and enliven the promotion of Kelvin's adventurer rank. As usual, Kelvin is always enthusiastic when facing an opponent stronger than him in every fight. Kelvin's battle junkie disease relapses, and he can't wait to fight other S-rank adventurers in Potsy City. Kelvin invites all his friends to watch the next battle. This can also be a lesson for Kelvin's friends who want to reach the S-rank adventurer rank. Then Season 1 of Black Summoner has finished here.
Hi. 重度のバトルジャンキーでいらっしゃいますから。本日2回目ですね。しょうがないよ。
やっぱし。
また出た悪い癖。その息やよし。
こんな強いやつがいるんだ。今から楽しみで仕方ないぞ。どうぜみんな。もっと強いやつらに会うために。